Welcome back to my YouTube channel, coin enthusiasts and history buffs. If you thought the 1-cent coin was just a small, insignificant piece of currency, think again. Today, we're diving deep into the fascinating world of a rare and valuable coin that has shocked many with its huge worth, the 1973 1-cent coin. You might be surprised to learn that the seemingly modest penny could potentially be worth millions of dollars. Yes, you heard that right, $78 million. Now, before you go running to check your piggy bank for that shiny 1973 penny, let's first understand why this particular coin has such a jaw-dropping value. In this video, we're going to explore its history, its significance, and what makes it so rare and valuable. Let's get started. First, let's rewind the clock a little bit. 1973 was an interesting year in American history. The country was in the midst of the Vietnam War, the Watergate scandal was unfolding, and the economy was facing a recession. The U.S. Mint, which produces the coins, was operating under the pressure of a growing economy and the need for more currency to circulate. It was in this climate that the 1973 penny was minted. Coins back then were made from a copper and zinc composition, and the 1-cent coin was no different. However, what makes the 1973 penny unique is not the design or the material, but rather a very specific error that occurred during its minting process. Now, as much as we love talking about the errors in coin minting, we don't see many coins with errors that make them truly valuable. But every once in a while, a mistake comes along that changes the course of numismatic history. And that's exactly what happened in 1973. So here's the thing, the 1973 penny wasn't supposed to be anything special. But a small, seemingly insignificant error on some of the coins created a massive ripple in the world of numismatics. What happened was an accidental overstrike, a mistake where a die used to mint the coins malfunctioned. This error resulted in some of the 1973 pennies having double die obverse. That means there's a noticeable doubling of the design on the front of the coin, including the date and the inscriptions like "Liberty" and "In God We Trust." Coin collectors refer to this as a double die error, an extremely rare occurrence that makes a coin highly desirable to collectors and investors alike. But here's the twist, there was something even more unusual about this particular penny. As time went on, collectors started to notice that some of these 1973 double die pennies had very special characteristics, flawless markings, minting errors so precise that they almost looked like they were deliberately designed that way. These pennies weren't just valuable, they were practically treasures from the past. In fact, one of these rare 1973 double die pennies was auctioned off for an astounding $78 million. Yes, you heard it correctly, $78 million. It made headlines across the world and shocked even the most seasoned collectors. But what made this particular coin worth so much money? Well, the value of a coin like this is determined by several factors. First, its rarity. There are only a handful of 1973 double die pennies known to exist. Next, its condition, often referred to as its grade in numismatics. The condition of this particular coin was virtually flawless, and it has been preserved with incredible care. Then, of course, there's the historical significance. The story behind this coin and its connection to American history only adds to its mystique and value. Another big reason the 1973 penny went for such a high price is the growing interest in rare coins as an investment opportunity. With the market for rare coins booming, the price of these unique pieces has skyrocketed, and collectors are willing to pay a premium for something as special as a 1973 double die penny. But let's not forget, this kind of coin doesn't come by easily. Finding a 1973 penny with such a perfect double die error is like finding a needle in a haystack. The vast majority of 1973 pennies are perfectly normal and worth only their face value, just 1 cent. So, before you rush off to check your spare change, keep in mind that not every 1973 penny is worth a fortune. Most of them are just regular coins that, while interesting, aren't worth more than a few cents. But if you happen to have one of those rare double die errors, you could be holding onto a small piece of numismatic history worth millions. Now, if you're wondering how to identify a 1973 double die penny in your collection, it's all about the details. Look closely at the date, the word "Liberty," and the motto "In God We Trust." If you see noticeable doubling where the lettering appears as if it's been stamped twice, you may have a valuable coin on your hands. Keep in mind, these double die errors can be hard to spot with the naked eye, so you'll need a magnifying glass or a good quality camera to get a close-up look. But not all of the double die pennies are worth millions. The coin's condition, how well it's been preserved, and the rarity of the error can affect its value. So, if you think you have a rare one, be sure to have it appraised by a professional before jumping to conclusions. Who knows? That small coin you've had lying around in your drawer for years could turn out to be worth a fortune. The world of coin collecting is full of surprises, and the 1973 D penny is proof of that. From face value to $78 million, it just goes to show that sometimes the smallest things can have the biggest impact. Thanks for watching. If you found this video interesting, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more amazing coin stories. And as always, happy collecting. Next 2000 1 cent USA coin collectors and history lovers. Have you ever thought that a penny, that small and seemingly insignificant coin, could actually be worth millions? Well, it's true. Today, we're diving into the world of the 2000 1 cent coin, a penny that is worth far more than its face value. In fact, if you're lucky enough to own one of these rare coins, you could be sitting on a treasure worth up to $4 million. Yes, you heard that right, $4 million. Now, before you start searching through your coin jar or digging through your change, let's take a deeper look at what makes the 2000 penny so special and why it could be worth so much money. We'll explore its history, the mistake that led to its value, and how you can identify if you have one of these rare pennies. Let's jump into it. Let's set the stage. The year 2000 was a turning point for many people around the world. Y2K was a global concern, the tech boom was in full swing, and the world was anxiously watching to see if the new millennium would bring chaos or celebration. For the US Mint, it was another year of producing coins to meet the demand of a growing population and economy. And in the year 2000, the 1 cent coin, or penny, underwent some notable changes. In fact, 2000 was a significant year for the US Mint because it marked the final years of the copper and zinc composition that the 1 cent coin had been made from since the 1980s. Starting in 1982, pennies were made primarily from copper-plated zinc, but prior to that, they had been made from a copper-nickel mixture. But the penny itself wasn't the only thing changing that year. What really makes the 2000 penny interesting is the specific error that makes some of these coins highly valuable to collectors and investors. Unlike other years, this penny became famous due to a mistake during the minting process, a mistake that would later cause it to be known as one of the rarest and most valuable modern-day pennies. So, what went wrong? The 2000 penny, like all other US coins, was produced using a die, which is essentially a mold that shapes the coin. However, during the production of certain 2000 pennies, the die used to strike the obverse, the front of the coin, which features Abraham Lincoln's image, was damaged or improperly aligned, causing a unique error. The resulting coins were double-struck, meaning the design appeared to have been stamped twice, creating a noticeable doubling of the lettering, especially on the date. This kind of error is called a double die error, and it's extremely rare. You might think that such errors happen frequently, but in reality, they're quite uncommon. And when you combine this error with the right level of rarity, you've got a coin that could potentially be worth millions. Now, when you're dealing with a rare coin like this, the value can vary depending on a number of factors, primarily the quality of the coin, its rarity, and the market demand. For the 2000 double die penny, its value has ranged anywhere from a few $100s to jaw-dropping sums. Some coins have sold for as much as $4 million. But what is it about this particular coin that makes it so desirable? The value of a coin like the 2000 double die is driven by several key factors: rarity, condition, and demand. As far as rarity goes, there are very few known specimens of this particular error. Many 2000 pennies were minted correctly, and only a small percentage have the double die error that makes them so special. In terms of condition, a coin that has been well preserved, without too much wear or damage, is always worth more. The high-quality condition of a 2000 penny makes it an even more sought-after collector's item. So, how did these double die errors come to light? Well, after the minting process, a small group of numismatists and coin collectors started noticing something unusual about some of the 2000 pennies. The doubling on the date and letters was unlike any other standard error they had seen before. As news spread, coin experts started investigating, and soon they realized they had stumbled upon one of the most valuable coins of the modern era. Fast forward a few years, and one of these rare 2000 double die pennies was auctioned off for a staggering $4 million. That's a lot for a coin that originally had a face value of just 1 cent. But this is what makes the world of coin collecting so intriguing. What was once considered a small piece of change can, under the right circumstances, transform into a true treasure. So, how can you tell if you have a 2000 double die penny in your own collection? Well, the first step is to look closely at the date and lettering on the obverse. If you see any noticeable doubling, especially on the date, the Liberty, inscription, or In God We Trust, you may have one of these rare coins. Keep in mind, the doubling can be subtle, so you might need a magnifying glass or a high-quality camera to catch the details. If you do find a 2000 D penny with double die characteristics, it's a good idea to have it professionally graded. A coin's grade plays a massive role in determining its value. Coins that are in excellent condition, often referred to as mint state or MS, will fetch the highest prices, while those with more wear and tear will be worth less. Now, you might be wondering, how many of these valuable 2000 D double die pennies are out there? The truth is, only a handful are known to exist. Because of the small number of these coins, it's nearly impossible to predict how much a specific coin will go for, but collectors and investors alike are always on the lookout for them. So, if you think you might have one of these rare pennies hiding in your change jar, it could be worth a closer look. Imagine the thrill of finding out you have a coin worth millions. Thanks for joining us on this incredible journey into the world of the 2000 D 1-cent coin. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon for more fascinating stories from the world of rare coins. And who knows? You might just find your own fortune in a pile of pennies. Until next time, happy hunting! Next, 1987 D 1-cent USA coin. Today, we're diving into the fascinating world of the 1987 D 1-cent coin, a penny that's worth far more than its humble face value. In fact, this coin has fetched a price as high as $16 million. Stick with us because we're about to explore the rare and valuable 1987 D penny, uncover its history, and reveal what makes it one of the most sought-after coins in the world. You might be wondering, how can a 1987 D penny, which was minted to be worth just 1 cent, end up with a price tag of $16 million? Well, it all comes down to a rare and extremely valuable error that occurred during its production. This isn't just a coin, it's a piece of history, and in today's video, we're going to break down what makes the 1987 D penny so extraordinary. Let's get started. First, let's rewind to the year 1987. It was a pivotal moment in American history. The Cold War was winding down, the stock market was experiencing significant growth, and President Ronald Reagan was serving his second term in office. Meanwhile, at the U.S. Mint, the production of coins was in full swing, and one of the most common and familiar coins being minted was the 1-cent coin. By 1987, the penny had been produced in the familiar copper-plated zinc composition, a material the U.S. Mint began using after 1982. The design featured Abraham Lincoln's portrait on the obverse, and on the reverse, the familiar image of the Union Shield, introduced in 1959 as part of the 150th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. Nothing particularly extraordinary about the design, so why is the 1987 D penny special? What sets the 1987 D penny apart from the others is a very rare error that was made during its minting. The 1987 D penny became famous for an unusual and specific mistake that led to a drastic increase in its value. So, let's dive into that error. Here's where things get interesting. The error we're talking about is called the double die error. This type of error occurs when a coin is struck more than once during the minting process, causing the design to appear doubled, especially on the lettering, the numbers, and sometimes the image itself. In this case, the doubling was extremely noticeable on the date, 1987, along with Liberty and In God We Trust. This specific error was incredibly rare because it only occurred with a small number of coins. Some of these pennies were struck with a misaligned die, which caused the doubling effect. The result was a striking visual anomaly that made certain 1987 D pennies stand out from the rest. And, of course, in the world of coin collecting, rarity equals value. Double die errors are highly sought after by coin collectors because of their uniqueness. When a coin features an error like this, it stands out not only because of the visual difference but also because it's a reminder of the human element involved in minting. A double die error isn't intentional, which is why it's so rare and valuable. Now, you might be thinking, why does this particular 1987 D penny carry such an astonishing value? Great question. The key lies in how rare the error is. While double die pennies are a known phenomenon in coin collecting, most of them are relatively minor and don't have the same level of demand. But the 1987 D penny with this specific double die error is so rare that it has become one of the most valuable modern-day pennies. So, how much has one of these rare 1987 D double die pennies actually sold for? Well, at a prestigious coin auction, a pristine 1987 D-double die penny fetched an unbelievable $16 million. That's right, $16 million for a penny that originally had a face value of just 1 cent. But how does this happen? The answer lies in the world of numismatics, coin collecting, and the concept of investment-grade coins. In the world of rare coin collecting, certain coins can become highly valuable not just for their historical significance but for their rarity and the condition they're in. A coin like the 1987 D-double die penny is incredibly valuable because of the combination of its rarity, historical importance, and the fact that there are only a few known examples with this error. Furthermore, the value of these rare coins increases over time as more collectors become aware of them and as the coin's scarcity drives up demand. Because of the specific nature of this error, most 1987 D pennies do not have the double die feature. In fact, a vast majority of these pennies are in perfect condition and don't exhibit any noticeable errors. But for the lucky few who happen to find one of these double die pennies, it could mean a life-changing windfall. So, how do you identify a 1987 D-double die penny in your own collection? First, look closely at the date. If you notice that the 1987 appears doubled, like two distinct outlines of the numbers, you might have a valuable coin. Check the words Liberty and In God We Trust for similar doubling effects. The doubling should be clear and pronounced, especially in high-quality examples. If you believe you have one of these rare coins, it's highly recommended that you have it professionally graded and authenticated by a numismatic expert. The grading of the coin, which assesses its condition, is a critical factor in determining its market value. Even a small flaw or wear and tear on the coin can significantly impact its value. A coin that has been graded as mint state or MS, meaning it has almost no wear and retains its original finish, will fetch a higher price than one that's been worn down over the years. The better the condition, the more valuable the coin. Now, with the 1987 D-double die penny being so rare, it's clear why coin collectors and investors are so eager to get their hands on it. The high sale price of $16 million shows just how much the demand for rare coins has surged in recent years. Imagine finding a penny worth millions in your change. It just goes to show that sometimes the most unassuming items can carry immense value, especially in the world of rare coins. Who knows, perhaps you have a treasure waiting to be discovered. Thanks for watching today's video about the incredible 1987 D 1-cent coin. If you found this story as fascinating as we did, don't forget to like, subscribe, and click the bell for more exciting coin stories. And always remember, check your change because you never know when $1 million penny might be hiding in your pocket. Until next time, happy collecting. Last 2012 D 1-cent USA coin. What if I told you that a simple penny, just 1 cent, could be worth millions of dollars? That's right, today we're going to talk about the 2012 D 1-cent coin, a penny that is worth far more than its face value. Some have even been sold for a mind-blowing $81 million. Stick with us as we dive deep into the world of rare coins, uncover the fascinating history of this penny, and explore the incredible error that turned it into a modern-day treasure. You may be asking, how on earth can a 2012 D penny worth just 1 cent be valued at $81 million? Well, in today's video, we're going to explore exactly why this particular penny has become one of the most valuable and sought-after coins in the world. So, get ready to learn about its unique history, a rare mistake that made it a collector's dream, and how you could potentially find one of these precious pennies in your very own pocket. First, let's step back and take a look at the year 2012. It was a year of significant events globally and nationally. There was a lot of buzz around the 2012 Mayan calendar prediction of the end of the world, the re-election of Barack Obama as U.S. president, and the rise of social media and global communication. But while all of this was going on, the U.S. Mint was hard at work, producing millions of coins, including the humble penny. 2012 was a typical year for the U.S. Mint, and there were no significant design changes for the penny. The 1-cent coin was still made of copper-plated zinc, and the familiar design featured Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, the front, and the Union shield on the reverse, the back. The penny had been in circulation for years with this basic design and material. So, what was so special about the 2012 D penny? The answer lies in a rare and astonishing mistake, an error that changed the fate of this coin forever. That's right. The 2012 D penny, while not particularly unique on its own, became the subject of one of the rarest and most valuable coin errors of the 21st century. So, what went wrong? The 2012 D penny became famous for a specific error called a double die, but not just any double die. This particular double die error was caused by an unusual misalignment of the die used to strike the coin, resulting in an exceptionally clear and prominent doubling effect, especially on the date 2012, the motto, "In God We Trust," and even the word liberty. Normally, a double die error happens when a coin is struck more than once by a die, creating a doubled image. While this is rare, it's not impossible. However, what made the 2012 D penny so special was the clarity of the doubling, an unmistakable and highly sought-after feature for collectors. This error was so distinctive and sharp that collectors and investors quickly recognized it as an extremely valuable coin. Double die errors are among the most prized errors in the world of numismatics. When a coin displays such a clear and detailed doubling effect, especially on important areas like the date, the word liberty, and the motto, it makes the coin incredibly rare. For collectors, finding one of these coins is like striking gold in a pile of pennies. So how rare is this 2012 D double die penny? The total number of these coins in circulation is extremely limited. Most of the 2012 D pennies were struck correctly, and only a handful of them have the rare double die error. This makes the coin not only incredibly rare but also highly valuable. And now for the big question, just how much can you sell a 2012 D double die penny for? Well, this coin is worth a small fortune. Some of the most pristine examples of the 2012 D double die penny have sold at auction for jaw-dropping prices. One of the highest known sales for a 2012 D penny with this double die error hit a record $81 million. That's right, $81 million for a penny that originally had a face value of just 1 cent. This shows just how much the world of coin collecting has evolved. A simple error during the minting process can lead to an unimaginable increase in value when the right conditions come together: rarity, quality, and high demand. This is a perfect example of how certain coins, when they have unique characteristics, can become true treasures. So, how can you spot a 2012 D double die penny? If you happen to find a 2012 D penny in your collection, it's essential to carefully inspect it for any signs of the doubling effect. The first place to check is the date. If the 2012 looks like it has been struck twice, with clear separation between the numbers, you might have a winner. Additionally, the word liberty and the motto, "In God We Trust," on the obverse are other key areas to examine for any noticeable doubling. To identify a 2012 D double die penny, you'll need a magnifying glass or a jeweler's loupe to see the doubling clearly. Look closely at the date and check for any signs of the letters and numbers being doubled. It should be very clear, almost like there are two sets of images on the coin. If you believe you've found one of these rare coins, it's essential to have it professionally graded by an expert. Professional grading services such as the Numismatic Guarantee Corporation (NGC) or the Professional Coin Grading Service (PCGS) will assess the coin's authenticity, condition, and value. The higher the grade, the more money you can expect to make from selling it. As we've seen with the $81 million sale, the 2012 D double die penny is worth an astronomical amount when in excellent condition. The coin's value depends on factors like its rarity, the degree of the error, and its overall condition. So, whether you're a seasoned coin collector or just someone with a jar of change, it's worth taking the time to carefully inspect your pennies, especially those from 2012. Who knows? You might just be one lucky person to stumble upon a rare coin worth millions. So, next time you come across a 2012 D penny, take a closer look. You could be holding the key to a fortune. Thanks for tuning in today to learn about the incredible 2012 D 1-cent coin. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon for more amazing stories from the world of rare coins. And remember, 1 cent might just change your life. Until next time, happy hunting, and may your change always be valuable.